There is a book that has been waiting for you. Not waiting the way a book waits on a shelf. Passive, inert, subject to whoever happens to reach for it. Waiting the way a signal waits for a receiver that has finally tuned to the right frequency. Waiting the way a door waits for the specific key that was always going to open it. This book has been in your field for longer than you know. You may have seen its cover and looked away. You may have heard someone mention it and felt nothing. You may have held it in your hands at a bookstore and put it back down. And something in you at that moment simply was not ready to receive what was inside it. And then, one day, the same book found you again. Or a different book found you for the first time. And this time, something was different. This time, you opened it and felt the floor shift. That is what this transmission is about. Not about books as objects. About what it means when a piece of language, a specific arrangement of words that someone wrote in a specific state of mind, arrives in your life at the precise moment when your consciousness has crossed a threshold that makes you capable of receiving it. About why the same sentence you could have read 5 years ago and dismissed now lands like a key, turning in a lock you did not know was there. About what it tells you specifically. About where you are in your own becoming. That this book is here now, in your hands, in your mind, in the conversation you are having with yourself at 2 a.m. Because here is what I want you to understand before we go any further. The book did not change. You did. And the fact that you can receive it now, the fact that it found you now, is not coincidence. It is confirmation. It is the universe handing you evidence of a state transition that has already occurred inside you. A crossing you may not have had language for yet. A threshold you stepped through without fully realizing you had crossed it. The book is the signal. The book is the proof. The book is the gate, standing open in front of you, showing you exactly where your consciousness has arrived. So, if you are here, if this transmission found you, then something has already shifted. Something in your timeline has already activated. And we are going to spend the next hour understanding precisely what that means, why it happens, how the physics of it actually works, and what is waiting for you on the other side of fully accepting what the book's arrival is telling you about yourself. Let's begin at the beginning. Let's begin with the question of why the same information does not land the same way twice. If this is landing for you, here is something I want to share. Have you spent years shielding yourself from other people's energy? Boundaries, releases, energy clearings, and still wake at 3 a.m., running someone else's anxiety? Those tools treat it as outside you. It's not. Your nervous system has adjusted to every room for so long, it forgot its baseline. The sealed timeline, a quantum guide to becoming untouchable by wrong frequencies, walks through the 5-step crossing. The adjusting pattern, the breaking point, the crossing itself, what stable feels like, and why old evidence shows up. Every tool you tried treated this as an outside problem. This one ends the adjusting pattern that made you a receiver in the first place. The longer you adjust, the harder it gets to come back to yourself. Open it tonight. It's in the pinned comment below. Now, back to the thread we were following. You have had this experience. You know exactly what I am describing. You read a book at 22, and it was fine, interesting, maybe. Or perhaps you could not get through it at all. You come back to it at 34, and it reads like someone wrote it specifically for you. Like someone reached into the architecture of your particular confusion and built a map out of it. The words are identical. The page numbers have not moved. The author wrote what they wrote, and it has not changed. But you are reading a completely different book. This is not a metaphor for personal growth in the soft, gradual sense. This is describing something specific and structural about how consciousness receives information, and it has a precise mechanism, and understanding that mechanism is the first gate in this transmission. In physics, there is a phenomenon called resonance. Resonance is not about proximity. It is not about how close two things are to each other. It is about whether two systems are oscillating at compatible frequencies. A tuning fork struck at 440 Hz will cause another tuning fork tuned to 440 Hz to begin vibrating, even across a room, even without physical contact, because the frequency of one is the frequency the other was built to receive. A tuning fork tuned to 320 Hz will sit completely still, not because it cannot hear the first fork, because it was not built to receive that signal. Information works the same way. Every piece of writing, every book, every transmission of language exists at a particular frequency of consciousness, not in a mystical sense, in a structural sense. The author wrote from a specific state of awareness, a specific set of questions they were living inside, a specific threshold they had crossed or were standing at. That state is embedded in the language. It is encoded in what questions the writing asks, what it assumes the reader already understands, what it leaves unsaid because it expects the reader to already feel it. The writing was built for a receiver tuned to a particular frequency. And you, depending on where you are in your own evolution, are either tuned to receive it or you are not. This is why the same book can be invisible to you for years and then suddenly arrive. Not because the book changed, because you crossed a threshold, a specific structural shift in your state of consciousness that brought you into resonance with what the book was always transmitting. You became the tuning fork that the book was built for. And the moment you crossed that threshold, the book began to vibrate in your field. Now, here is where this becomes genuinely important to understand, and where a lot of people miss the depth of what is actually happening. The crossing came first. The book is not the cause of the shift. The book is the evidence of the shift. You did not read the book and therefore change. You changed, you crossed a threshold, and therefore you could finally receive the book. The arrival of the right book at the right time is not what opens the gate. The opening of the gate is what makes the right book findable. This distinction matters enormously, because if you believe the book is the cause, you will spend your life searching for the magic text that will transform you. The next book, the right teacher, the perfect transmission that will finally do it. You will be looking outside yourself for the activation that can only come from inside. But if you understand that the book is the signal, the confirmation, the evidence of a crossing that has already occurred, then you understand that what you are actually receiving when the right book finds you is a message from your own becoming. You are receiving proof that you have already crossed. The gate opened, and then the book appeared. In that order. Let me take you deeper into the physics of this, because the mechanism is specific and it is beautiful, and understanding it will change how you read every book you ever read from this moment forward. In thermodynamics, there is a concept called a phase transition. This is the moment when a system, under increasing pressure or temperature or energetic input, does not change gradually. It changes all at once. Water at 99 degrees Celsius is still water. You can heat it for a long time and it remains liquid. And then, at 100 degrees, under standard atmospheric pressure, it does not become slightly more vaporous. It crosses a threshold and becomes something categorically different. Steam is not hot water. Steam is a different phase of matter. The molecules are the same. The chemical formula is unchanged, but the organizational state, the way those molecules relate to each other and to space, is completely different. And the crossing from one state to the other is not gradual. It is a threshold event. Consciousness evolves the same way. You do not become gradually more aware, gradually more open, gradually more capable of receiving deeper truths. You accumulate pressure. You live inside questions. You carry weight and tension and the friction of who you are becoming against who you have been. And then, at a certain point, under enough accumulated pressure, you cross a threshold. You do not become slightly more conscious. You enter a different phase, a different organizational state. The same you, the same history, the same experiences, but arranged differently, relating to each other differently, capable of receiving signals you were previously tuned out of. And in that new phase, certain books find you. Certain teachers appear. Certain conversations happen that would not have been possible one phase ago. Not because the world changed, because you crossed. This is what timeline activation actually means. It is not that a new timeline appeared from nowhere. It is not that reality branched and you jumped to a different branch. A timeline activation is a phase transition in consciousness. It is the moment when the accumulated pressure of your becoming crosses a threshold, and you enter a new organizational state, a new phase. And in that new phase, you are suddenly capable of receiving signals, books, people, opportunities, insights that were always present in your field, but were previously outside your resonant frequency. The timeline was always there. The version of you that lives it was always possible. The activation is the crossing of the threshold that brings you into resonance with it. And the book is how you know it happened. If this transmission is landing for you, if something in it is vibrating at the right frequency, take a moment to like this video and subscribe so more of these reach you when you need them. I want to tell you about a specific kind of book, because not every book that finds you is the same kind of finding. There are at least 3 distinct experiences here, and they correspond to 3 different kinds of threshold crossings. And understanding the difference will help you understand exactly which gate you are standing at right now. The first kind is what I call the map book. This is the book that arrives when you have just crossed a threshold and you are standing in new territory without a language for it. You have changed. You know you have changed. Something is different, but you do not have the conceptual vocabulary to describe what happened or where you are. And then this book appears, and it gives you the map. It names the territory. It says, here is what this experience is called. Here is the shape of it. Here is where it fits in a larger understanding of consciousness and becoming. The map book does not cause the crossing. It arrives after the crossing to help you understand where you landed. It is the guide who meets you on the other side of the gate and says, welcome, let me show you around. The second kind is what I call the mirror book. This is the book that arrives not to give you new information, but to show you what you already know. You read it, and every page feels like recognition rather than discovery. Like someone is articulating things you have been feeling, but could not say. The mirror book is the most emotionally overwhelming of the 3 because it does something specific. It proves to you that what you have been experiencing is real, that it has a shape, that it has been experienced by others, that you are not alone in the threshold. The mirror book arrives when you have been in a liminal space for a long time, when you have been standing at a gate without knowing it, and it shows you your own face reflected back clearly enough that you can finally see where you are. The third kind is the most rare and the most powerful. I call it the threshold book. This is the book that does not arrive after the crossing or during the liminal space. This is the book that is itself the gate. The book that, in the act of reading it, completes the phase transition. The threshold book is the one where you begin reading as one version of yourself, and finish as another. Not because the words changed you in a simple cause and effect way, but because the book arrived at the precise moment when you were standing at a threshold, when the pressure had built to the point where crossing was imminent, and the reading of it was the final energetic input that tipped the system over. Like the last degree of heat before water becomes steam. The book did not create the phase transition, but it was the thing that completed it. Do you know which kind found you? Sit with that for a moment, because the answer tells you something specific about where you are. If it was a map book, you have already crossed. You are on the other side of something, and you are learning the language of where you landed. The gate is behind you. What you need now is orientation. If it was a mirror book, you are in the liminal space. You are between. You have left one state but have not yet fully arrived in another. The gate is in front of you, and the mirror book is showing you your own face clearly enough that you can finally see what you are crossing toward. If it was a threshold book, you are in the act of crossing right now. The reading is the gate, and finishing this transmission may be part of what completes it. Now, I want to talk about something that almost never gets said in conversations about synchronicity and meaningful coincidence. And it is the thing that I think is most important for you to understand about why this book found you now. The book did not find you because you were ready. The book found you because you were ready enough. There is a difference, and the difference is everything. Ready implies completion. It implies that there was a preparation phase, and now you have graduated from it, and you are finally qualified to receive what the book contains. But that is not how threshold crossings work. That is not how phase transitions happen. You do not become ready and then cross. You cross and then become ready. The crossing is what creates the readiness. The threshold is not something you prepare for and then step through when you have met all the requirements. The threshold is something you step through, and the stepping through is itself the transformation. Ready enough means something different. It means that the pressure has built to a point where the crossing is possible. It means that you have accumulated enough friction, enough questioning, enough of the tension between who you have been and who you are becoming, that the threshold event can occur. It means that you have done enough of the work, not all of it, not most of it necessarily, but enough that the phase transition is available to you. And this is why the same book you were not ready for 5 years ago can find you now. It is not that you have finally become worthy of it. It is that you have accumulated enough pressure, enough becoming, that you are now in the energetic neighborhood of the threshold the book was written from. You are close enough to resonance that the signal can reach you. And here is the part that should stop you cold. You were never not doing the work. Every confusion, every false start, every period of stagnation that felt like failure, every relationship that fell apart, every identity that collapsed, every belief system that stopped working, every version of yourself that you outgrew and had to leave behind, all of it was pressure accumulation. All of it was the heat building under the water. All of it was the necessary precondition for the phase transition that brought you to the point where this book could find you. Nothing was wasted. Not one moment of it. The years you spent in the wrong career were not wasted. They were pressure. The relationship that ended in a way that broke something fundamental in how you understood yourself was not wasted. It was pressure. The belief system you held on to too long and then lost in a way that felt like the floor dropping out was not pressure wasted. It was the most important pressure of all. Because identity level collapse is the specific kind of heat that generates consciousness level phase transitions. You have been building toward this crossing for longer than you know. And the book is the proof. I want to pause here and ask you something directly. Have you ever stood at a threshold and known, in your body before your mind caught up, that you were about to cross a point of no return? A moment when everything was about to shift at once, and you could feel it coming. Tell me about it in the comments. Not the outcome, the moment itself. The sensation of standing at the edge before you stepped through. I want to tell you about someone. I will call her Miriam. Miriam had been carrying a question for 11 years. She did not always know it was a question. For most of those 11 years, it felt like an ache, a low-grade dissatisfaction with the shape of her life that she kept diagnosing as the wrong job, the wrong city, the wrong relationship, the wrong body, the wrong decade. She was good at solving problems, so she kept solving the problems she could identify. She changed jobs. She moved. She ended the relationship that was clearly not working. She built a life that looked, from the outside, like a series of competent decisions. And the ache did not go away, because the ache was not a problem. The ache was a question. And the question was not about the job, or the city, or the relationship. The question was about the fundamental structure of how she was relating to her own existence. It was a question about whether the life she was living was actually hers, or whether she had assembled it from available materials without ever stopping to ask what she was actually building toward. Miriam picked up a book at an airport. She had seen this book before. She had read the first chapter years earlier and found it interesting, but not urgent. She had put it down. At the airport, with a 3-hour delay and nothing else to do, she opened it again. She read the whole thing on the plane. And somewhere over the middle of the country, at 35,000 feet, she started crying in a way she had not cried in years. Not grief exactly. Not relief exactly. something more precise than either. The feeling of recognition, the feeling of seeing your own face in a mirror after a long time in a dark room. The feeling of a question that has been living in your body for 11 years, finally finding its language. The book had not changed. She had read the first chapter before. The words were the same. But Miriam had crossed a threshold in the months before that airport. She had not known she was crossing it. It had not felt like a crossing. It had felt like a slow, grinding dissolution of something, like the last version of the story she had been telling about herself was finally running out of material to sustain itself. The old identity was in its final contraction. The pressure had built to a point she had never been at before. And the book found her at exactly that moment. Not because the universe placed it in the airport bookstore for her. It had been there for years. But because she was, for the first time, in resonance with what the book was transmitting. She was, for the first time, the tuning fork the book was built for. The book was a mirror book for Miriam. It did not give her new information. It gave her the language for what she already knew. And that language, that precise naming of what she had been living without words for, was the final degree of heat. The book completed the phase transition that had been building for 11 years. She did not change because she read the book. She was able to read the book because she had already changed enough. And here is what happened after. Because this is the part that matters for you right now. Miriam did not immediately know what to do with what she had received. This is important. Phase transitions do not come with instruction manuals. You cross a threshold, and you arrive in new territory. And the new territory is real, but it is also unmapped. Miriam knew something had shifted. She knew the question had found its language, but she did not know what the answer was. She did not know what the new life looked like. She did not know what to do on Monday morning. And this is where most people make the mistake that costs them the most. They cross the threshold. They have the reading experience, the recognition, the floor shift, the tears at 35,000 feet. And then they go home and they wait for the instructions. They wait for the next book to tell them what to do. They wait for the next teacher, the next transmission, the next synchronicity to show them the path. They treat the crossing as a beginning of a search rather than the beginning of a building. The threshold is not the beginning of a search. The threshold is the beginning of a construction. You have crossed into new territory. The territory is real, but the life in that territory does not exist yet. You have to build it. And you build it not by waiting for more maps, but by taking the first step into the unmapped space and letting your movement create the path. Miriam did not know what the new life looked like on Monday morning. But she made one decision that Monday that was different from any decision she had made before. She made a decision that came from the question rather than from the ache. She made a decision that was oriented toward what she was building toward, rather than away from what was not working. It was a small decision. It was almost invisible from the outside. But it was made from the other side of the threshold, and that made it a different kind of decision than any she had made before. And that is how the new timeline begins. Not with a dramatic revelation, not with a complete life overhaul, with one decision made from the other side of the gate. Let me talk now about what I call the library of your becoming. Every book that has ever genuinely landed for you, every book that arrived at the right moment and shifted something, is a marker. It is a timestamp in the record of your consciousness evolution. If you were to lay them out in order, the books that actually found you, rather than the books you merely read, you would see a map of your threshold crossings. You would see the shape of your own becoming, the specific sequence of gates you have crossed, the exact evolution of the questions you have been living inside. Most people do not read their own library this way. They remember the books they loved, the ones that were important, but they do not read the sequence as a map. They do not ask, what does it mean that this book found me at 26, and this one at 31, and this one now? What is the through line? What is the question that all of these books are different angles on? What is the single threshold that all of these crossings have been building toward? Because here is what I want you to understand about the book that found you now. It is not random. It is not isolated. It is the latest marker in a sequence. It is the most recent evidence of a becoming that has been in motion for a very long time. And if you can read it in the context of the sequence, if you can place it in the library of your own threshold crossings, you will see something that will take your breath away. You will see the coherence of your own becoming. You will see that it was never random, that the wrong turns were not wrong, that the detours were not detours, that the whole sequence from the first book that genuinely landed to this one has been a single unfolding movement toward a specific version of yourself that has been waiting for you on the other side of the gate you are crossing right now. The library of your becoming is the most personal document in existence. It is more personal than your diary, more honest than your resume, more precise than your therapy notes. Because it shows you not what you thought or what you did, but what you were capable of receiving at each stage of your evolution. And that is the truest map of who you are. I want to spend some time now on the specific phenomenon of rereading, because it contains something essential about timeline activation that I do not think is understood well enough. When you return to a book you read years ago and find it completely different, find it saying things you are certain were not there before, find yourself underlining different sentences, finding the chapter you skipped before to be the most important one, What is actually happening is this. You are reading the book from a different phase of consciousness. You are, in a very real sense, a different reader. Not a better reader. Not a more evolved reader in a hierarchical sense. A reader in a different state. And this is where something genuinely strange and beautiful occurs. The book has multiple books inside it. Not hidden chapters, not secret messages, but different books that are accessible only from different states of consciousness. The sentences that land for you at 34 were in the text when you read it at 22. You were not capable of receiving them. They were present but not receivable. They existed in the book the way a radio signal exists in the air of a room with no radio. The signal is real. The room is full of it, but without a receiver tuned to that frequency. The signal is not absent. It is just unheard. This means that every book that genuinely found you contains more than you have received from it yet. There are sentences in it that are waiting for the next version of you. There are chapters that will only make sense after the next threshold crossing. The book you are holding right now, the one that just found you, is showing you everything it can show you at this phase. But it is also containing, in reserve, transmissions that are addressed to future versions of you that do not exist yet. This is not a reason to wait. This is a reason to cross. Because the only way to receive what the book is holding in reserve is to cross the threshold that makes you capable of receiving it. And the only way to cross that threshold is to act on what you can already receive. The future reading of the book is on the other side of the gate that the current reading is showing you. The book is not just a map of where you are. It is a preview of where you are going. And the preview is only visible if you are willing to step through the gate it is pointing at. Now, I want to address something directly, because I know it is present in the room for some of you. There is a version of this experience that is not a threshold crossing. There is a version of the book-finding you experience that is a form of avoidance. And I want to name it clearly because confusing the two is one of the most costly mistakes you can make at a gate. The avoidance version looks like this. You read a book and it confirms what you already believe. It makes you feel seen and understood and validated. It gives you new vocabulary for the same position you have been in for years. It does not challenge the structure of how you are living. It deepens your existing identity rather than questioning it. It makes you feel more like yourself rather than making you question which self you have been. This is not a threshold book. This is a comfort book, and comfort books are fine. They are not harmful, but they are not evidence of a timeline activation. They are evidence of a timeline consolidation, which is a different thing entirely. A timeline activation always involves some degree of discomfort, not suffering, not crisis, but the specific discomfort of recognizing that the version of yourself you have been is not the version of yourself you are becoming. The discomfort of seeing the gap between where you are and where you are being called. The discomfort of knowing that something has to change, and that the something is not your circumstances, but your fundamental orientation toward your own existence. If the book that found you made you feel purely comfortable, purely confirmed, purely validated without any edge of challenge, look more carefully. There may be something in it that you are not quite receiving yet. There may be a sentence you glossed over, a chapter that felt less relevant, an idea you agreed with intellectually, but did not let land in your body. The threshold material is often in the part of the book that makes you slightly uncomfortable, the part where you feel a small resistance, the part where you want to put the book down for a moment before continuing. That resistance is the gate. The discomfort is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that you are close. It is the feeling of standing at the edge of a threshold, the specific sensation of being about to cross into territory that will change the shape of your self-understanding. The discomfort is the friction of the old state resisting the new one. It is the water at 99 degrees, right before the crossing. Do not put the book down at that sentence. Read it again. Sit with the resistance. Ask what it is protecting. Ask what would have to change if you let that sentence fully land. That is the practice. That is the gate. Let me give you the practice more precisely now, because this is not just a conceptual transmission. This is something you can do tonight with the book that found you. Find the sentence in the book, the one sentence that made you feel the most, not the sentence you found most intellectually interesting. The sentence that created the most sensation in your body when you read it. The sentence that made you stop. The sentence you underlined twice or came back to or thought about in the shower. That sentence is the threshold. Now I want you to do something specific with it. Do not analyze it. Do not think about what it means in the abstract. Instead, ask this question. If I took this sentence completely seriously, if I applied it not as a concept, but as a lived principle, what would have to be different about how I am living right now? Not what would I think differently. Not what would I believe differently. What would I do differently? What would I stop doing? What would I start?